We have a shocking New York Yankees trade update as Yankee fans are fired up by a proposed trade involving the Yankees acquiring Nico Hoerner for Marcus Stroman, Oswaldo Cabrera, and New York Yankees young prospect Roderick Arias. And we are going to break this down and talk about why Yankee fans are so up in arms in both ways about this trade. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as usual. And if you guys like the content, make sure to subscribe. It helps me out a ton. 14% of viewers are subscribed. We're getting those numbers up there. Part of it's because views are down right now. So let's try to get these views back up to those numbers we had early in the offseason. You know, a nearly impossible task if you know anything about the way the content creation works. However, we're going to jump right into things. There was a proposed trade in Yankees Twitter discussing... Here's a trade scenario. The New York Yankees acquire Nico Hoerner, middle infielder of the Chicago Cubs, in exchange for Marcus Stroman, Oswaldo Cabrera, Roderick Arias, and cash considerations. And Yankee fans, well, some of them love this trade. Some of them think the Cubs would just hang up laughing. Some people think the Yankees would hang up laughing. And we're going to break all that down because, look, there are good arguments on either side, if I'm being honest. The way you look at this trade, there is a reason for each way of it. Now, jumping into things, the Yankees would be acquiring Nico Hoerner in this trade. Now, Hoerner, not the most special batter, but for a guy who's a middle infielder, especially primarily a second baseman, and would be playing second base with the New York Yankees while Jazz Chisholm's at third, and Anthony Volpe's obviously a shortstop with Goldie at first base. Hoerner fits right into the second base role, to be someone who hits in kind of the backer end of the lineup, but also solid base runner. He does bat from the right side, which, I mean, it's fine. The Yankees do have lefties. They have Austin Wells. They have Jazz Chisholm. They got Cody Bellinger, who's a teammate of Hoerner's. It's not like they're completely depleted of good lefty hitters, but obviously it'd be preferred if the Yankees could bring one more lefty onto the lineup. However, that's a conversation for another day. Now, the Yankees would also be trading away Oswaldo Cabrera, who could bat from the left side as he's a switch hitter, but we'll get into Oswaldo in a bit. Hoerner, I mean, 273 batting average is very solid. OPS of 708. His on-base percentage is solid. Very good for a 273 batting average, getting on base around one-third of the time. Hoerner's a very solid player. Now, he's not a slugger. He only hit 7 home runs this season in his 582 at-bats, but he's not there to hit home runs. He's there to run the bases, be a great fielder, be a solid contact bat, give the Yankees a lot of things that they could use, and it would just continue to make this Yankees defense absolutely absurdly good. I mean, Bellinger in center field is perfect. I think Bellinger's a tremendous outfielder. I love that he's not playing first base. I think he's obviously got such a good arm. He's a good athlete. He just fits at center field so well, while Aaron Judge is excellent in right field. Meanwhile, Jason Dominguez has a very high fielding ceiling. Obviously, his fielding last season was not great, but he was coming off Tommy John surgery. He really hadn't played a ton of time in the MLB. I'm not really concerned by it. You have a solid defending outfield, and then the infield's defense is great. Goldie's still a phenomenal first base fielder. Obviously, Jazz Chisholm's one of the best and most fluid fielders in baseball, so he could literally play any position you need him to. You got Volpe, who's a Gold Glover, and then you'd bring in Nico Hoerner, who's a Gold Glover. You would just get this amazing defense. Mind you, especially when Max Fried is pitching. Max Fried, the best ground ball starting pitcher in baseball. You get him out there. The Yankees are going to be getting everyone out if that's the case. The defense is going to be phenomenal. The Yankees so often are a team that's just fully carried by offense, and making a trade like this just proves the Yankees want to switch things around and make themselves a defensive team while still having powerful bats like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. Meanwhile, Cody Bellinger has bounced back to a degree. Hoerner would be able to get on base. Imagine if you put Hoerner at the top of the order. Is he an ideal first hitter? No, but with Aaron Judge protection, or I still think Judge is batting third. I don't think he's going to move back to second because Aaron Judge wants to bat third. I really think we're going to see Bellinger bat second. So you go Hoerner, and then you have Bellinger with Judge protection. We saw that Juan Soto had his best year when Aaron Judge was protecting him. And obviously, I'm not saying that Juan Soto's not great. Juan Soto's phenomenal, and he's going to have a tremendous career with the New York Mets. But just saying the fact that Juan Soto, it's going to be hard to replicate a year when he was being protected by Aaron Judge because he's not going to get that protection on the Mets. We could see Cody Bellinger look more like that former MVP self with that Judge protection. Meanwhile, Hoerner with a protected Cody Bellinger and then Aaron Judge at the top of your order is very solid. You have two great base runners ahead of Aaron Judge for the first time in Aaron Judge's career. For the first time, you have two guys who you trust if they're on first base and Judge hits it down the right field line. That guy could score the ball could score at home very easily. Score the ball like I'm talking about friggin' basketball. Well, if you guys do like basketball, make sure you subscribe to Nick's Digest, though I'm pretty sure more people who are Nick's Digest fans are watching Yankees Digest and vice versa. But I really don't know, so subscribe to Nick's Digest as well. And Jets Digest while we're at it. Let's get all of my channels up here. But look, Hoerner would be a solid addition for the New York Yankees. I actually like the addition of Nico Hoerner more and more the more I talk about it. The problem is the price tag. I don't like giving up Roderick Arias for it at all because, guys, is Roderick Arias alone worth Nico Hoerner? No, I'm asking. Like, seriously, this is the highest potential prospect the Yankees have. It's Arias and Lombard Jr. are the two highest potential prospects on the New York Yankees farm system, if you ask me. I think that Arias has so much potential in the MLB, or when he gets to the MLB eventually. Obviously, and I was not going to go into his rookie ball stats right now, or his, not rookie ball, well, there is some rookie ball here, but there's also just minor league stats in general. He's still in the low-level minor leagues. I mean, he's been with the Yankees as an international prospect since he was 17 years old. He's still only 19. Now he's 20, but, same deal. He was 19 last season. He's still a few years away from being in the MLB. The Yankees are trying to win right now, and to win right now, it makes more sense to have Nico Hoerner than Arias. But the fact is, you're also giving up Cabrera, who I know is not a big loss, and Stroman, you get rid of some money, which is nice. You'd probably have to pay a bit of his contract because the Cubs don't want to pay it. But at the same time, it wouldn't be the worst move in the world. We know the Yankees and the Cubs already know that they can make trades together, as they already did this offseason alone with the Bellinger deal. But you look at this. You look at the New York Yankees, you look at Arias, he just shows that he's got potential. I mean, under 27 games, at one point we saw him hitting an OPS of over 900, 929 to be exact. We've seen him over full seasons look like he's going to have a lot of potential as he keeps rising through the ranks. He's going to continue to rise through the ranks. We're going to see more and more of Arias perform. And the question is, are we willing to move him for a guy like Nico Hoerner, who was the shortstop for the Cubs before Dansby showed up? So you're in this weird situation now where Hoerner, it's felt like he's going to get moved, but also the Cubs just traded for Kyle Tucker. So it's like, are they really, what are the Cubs doing? Like, it's impossible to tell what the Cubs are going to do because it feels like everything they're doing is backwards for some reason. You're trading away Bellinger, then you're trading for Kyle Tucker. Like, it makes no sense to me. The Cubs in general don't make sense. I don't know why they trade for Kyle Tucker, who I'm convinced is going to walk next winter. Again, basketball. Basketball offseason is in the summer. Baseball season's in the winter. I know someone's going to hate me for making these basketball analogies, but I'm sorry. Look, Arias is the guy you're giving up here. Stroman and Cabrera, we'd forget about in 5 minutes. Arias, that would sting to give up for anyone at all. Outside of that, Marcus Stroman, the Yankees are going to find a way to move him, even if they have to pay some of that contract. They don't want to pay him that $18 million, and if he gets some of that off, the Yankees can spend more money on someone else. He had a bad whip this year. Numbers across the board were just below his averages. I mean, he was an all-star literally a year ago. Couldn't replicate it this season. Looked good at the start of the year, but he started to get rattled and never really seemed to get his momentum back. He has his nights where he looks really, really good, but Stroman's battled the same problem throughout the majority of his career. He's an inconsistent player. He's good some nights. Other nights, he gets through 3 innings and he's allowed 7 runs, and it's just he doesn't have his stuff. It's not the most shocking thing when you're a sinker ball pitcher, but really, really, Stroman, at this point, you're not going to get a consistent season out of the man. There's been times where he looked like an absolute Cy Young. I mean, the first half of the Cubs season that he played for in 2023, he looked like one of the best pitchers in baseball. There's a reason why he was an all-star. The second half of the season, the man looked like he woke up and no longer knew how to pitch a ball, couldn't throw a strike, couldn't get anything past anyone. It was just a real turn of events very quickly for him. And I think the Yankees just want to get rid of that contract. There would be a team that's ready to bite on Stroman that needs a pitcher. There's a bunch of teams that could use starting pitchers that will be in the MLB playoffs, and Stroman is someone who does have some hardware. I mean, as I said, he's a 2-time All-Star. Teams are going to take a risk on that and see maybe they can get him under control. It just feels like more and more likely all these teams he's been on in recent years. After getting traded from the Blue Jays to the Mets, he has bounced around a bit, so it kind of feels like maybe teams are starting to give up quicker on Marcus Stroman, though we've also seen Marcus Stroman be very good at points. So that's a real question. On top of that, Oswaldo Cabrera, I mean, the hitting, his first season, it looked like he was really showing up and showing out, but ever since then, he hasn't been the same. 8 home runs and 299 at-bats is not great, especially with what we saw initially from him. He wasn't some massive home run hitter, but he was a good hitter, had some power in that bat. 1.3 WAR, nothing special there at all. 661 OPS, not great. OPS plus not great, career OPS plus not good. Sorry. He's not He's not a bad base runner at all, but great arm. There's stuff to like about Oswaldo Cabrera. There's a reason why teams would want him. There's a reason why the Yankees are considering starting him at second base or third base this season. It makes sense to me, but it just feels like it would be someone who you're kind of bummed that you lose, but you'd also get over it in literally 3 minutes. Like, no trade is going to live or die on wanting to keep Oswaldo Cabrera, essentially, is my point here. Meanwhile, Marcus Stroman, no one's even going to care if he's gone. No offense to Marcus Stroman. I just don't see how Yankee fans would mind knowing that he's out of the starting lineup. They have 5 other starters. Stroman's not going to be one of them. That's the only thing I really mean by that. I'm not trying to shade Marcus Stroman. What an awesome, awesome voice he had been for the New York Yankees last season. Ride or die for the team. You got to respect the hell out of Stroman no matter what his pitching numbers looked like. And obviously there were days where he looked completely unstoppable. So I just want to make sure no one thinks I'm hating on Marcus Stroman at all. I'm a big fan of Marcus Stroman. I was thrilled when they signed him. I wish it worked out better. But for Hoerner, all these stuff, you really have to consider it's just how comfortable are you with giving up Arias? Having George Lombard helps because he's a shortstop as well, and you also have Anthony Volpe, so you have a bunch of shortstops. Obviously, that makes Oswald Peraza a little bit more important to the Yankees. He'd probably be in the major league team, probably in some platoon role, or definitely in some platoon role. He'd play second base, third base, shortstop when a guy's taking a day off. It'd be interesting to see if in that role Peraza would be able to show up and maybe get more out of him or show a spark, and the Yankees could try to use him as a piece to dangle at the deadline. It would be interesting. This is a very win-now move for the New York Yankees if they were to make it. It's tough for me to say yes to this. The Arias thing hangs over my head despite the fact the Yankees are contenders. I think I'd probably bite the bullet and do the trade. I don't even want to say bite the bullet. You're getting Nico Hoerner. It's a win. Take the win. But it is for a lot. I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I know some people are going to hate my opinion on this. Guys, have a great day and go Yankees.